Radio's On the Money with Darlington Building Society.
Darlington Building Society, the heart of the local community.
So once again, I have Colin, who is the CEO of Darlington Building Society, with me again. Hello there, Colin.
Good morning.
So an exciting few days, what with exit from Euro in two instances for England, anyway, what with the football. But I suppose really the one that is on most people's minds at the moment is Brexit, the impact of that, Colin. I've got to ask you, first of all, I mean, there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of questions that aren't necessarily going to be answered by you today, but cost of living, holidays, wages, are these things that we need to be concerning ourselves with?
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of concern at the moment, and understandably, whenever there is uncertainty, there is concern. Whenever there's uncertainty, the financial markets can be hard to predict, and I think we've seen that Friday and the last few days. Certainly, initially the pound has really suffered. Yeah. Against particularly the euro and US dollars. So when that happens, the value of your pound in your pocket when you go to another country, Spain, for your holidays, or over to the US, your pound buys you less. And unfortunately, that's one of the consequences when you've got a pound that drops in value. There's always the other side to the coin, though. So for when the pound is worth less, exporters tend to be that bit more popular when they're exporting to some of those overseas countries. So that's been an immediate impact. The stock exchange, for anyone who has their money invested in stocks and shares, also a concerning time when you look at a little bit of a yo-yo effect that the stock market has. Some big drops, recoveries, and I think that the reality is that will continue to some degree in the days ahead, because we don't really know what that path looks like at the moment. That will lead to a new Prime Minister, followed by, one would presume, following through in the exit plans. So a little bit of volatility still to happen in the markets.
Got a question you'd like to ask the experts? Ask online at starradio.co.uk.
Colin, we're talking about the impact of Brexit. I mean, in essence, Colin, this is almost like going through a divorce. We are divorcing ourselves. This is going to take you've already alluded to it, but this is going to take some time really to unwind, isn't it? This isn't immediate impact necessarily.
No, it will. It'll take some time to unwind. It'll take some time for us to understand what the sort of threats are to the UK economy and to us as individuals, and also what the opportunities are to the economy and to individuals. So, I mean, an opportunity, if you were to look at the predictions since Thursday, what borrowing rates will look like in at least the short term, there is nobody that I can see predicting that the Bank of England base rate is going to go up anytime soon. In fact, there is more probability that it might reduce.
Okay.
So as a consumer, if you only look at is it a good time to borrow money from an interest rate perspective, you would say absolutely yes, because borrowing rates are going to stay low as this period unwinds.
Okay.
Now, someone will take that as an opportunity and they may decide it's the right time for the dream home. There'll be other people who think, well, I wonder how this is going to affect my employer. Will my employer be impacted? Will they, in fact, if for a large or a multinational company, will they continue to be headquartered in the UK? And all of that will take time to play out. So you'll have some people who'll be bold and will think, I'm going to take advantage of these low rates, I'm going to lock in. And you'll be others who'll be cautious, who'll think, I'm just going to wait and see my employment, etc., how that plays out.
Okay. Now, funnily enough, I was going to ask you about the housing market, and you sort of kind of like answered that. But I suppose in a roundabout way, have you seen from the Darlington Building Society's perspective any impact of less people coming to you to be lent money? Has there been any immediate impact?
There's been very little impact. Two ways that we would typically see impact. So since Friday, funds have been coming to us.
Right.
Typically, a building society is looked at as a safe haven. We don't have a business that we do overseas. We're concentrated on the UK, and therefore seen as a safe haven, and we're attracting money because of that. Out of our mortgages that are sort of work in progress, we've had 2 individuals who've come to us and said, I was going to either buy this house for one, or another who I was going to go for this big renovation. I'm just going to put it on pause. So with 2 people who've decided to pause, everybody else has said, we're going to continue because we want to, we need a house, we want this house, interest rates are low, we're going to keep going. And in fact, the inquiries on mortgages have really increased.
Right.
Since last week. I think the message about low borrowing rates is really getting through.
So really, generically, to kind of sum up, Colin, it's pretty much with a slight eye on Brexit and the impacts of it, but generally it's business as usual.
It certainly is for Darlington Building Society. For our age, we've been through many variations of Europe, both at peace and in war, and therefore we will carry on as normal. For the individual, for the consumer, there's an opportunity. An opportunity if you feel your circumstances are right, lock in to some really strong borrowing rates. We launched some record low mortgage rates before the Brexit because we felt whatever the outcome would be, interest rates would stay lower for longer. So some people will say, I'm taking that opportunity. Others will be more cautious, wait and see how their employer's placed, and this will all unfold. Yeah. It's just a matter of when and how what it'll look like.
Listen, some great information there, Colin, as ever. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On the Money with Darlington Building Society on Star Radio.